Alright, what's going on, guys? So as you know, we are coming up on the end of a decade. The 2010s are almost over, and there has been a lot of discussion recently on Twitter about what is the greatest COD of this decade. So that means from 2010, which was Black Ops 1, all the way up until 2019, which is obviously Modern Warfare. And I've seen a lot of really bad lists out there, so I figured as a veteran Call of Duty athlete, I gotta make a real list for everyone. Now, just some clarification. This list is gonna be based on multiplayer. I don't know why anytime I talk about a game, people want to bring up like campaign, zombies, Spec Ops, like all that other shit. Listen, I don't care about none of that. That is not going to influence any rankings. This is strictly multiplayer based. And also, I'm not going to include Modern Warfare Remastered because that's not really a new game. You know, it's a remastered game. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Starting out at number 10, Infinite Warfare. So first of all, jetpacks is an automatic L for this list, okay? But not only did this game have jetpacks, it also was the worst of the jetpack games. You know, like, that's just really unfortunate. That's like coming in last place at the Special Olympics, you know what I mean? Now, to be fair, the game had really bad timing, right? It was the third straight year of jetpacks. By this time, people were already tired of jetpacks. Nobody wanted a jetpack game. So the game really never had a chance from the beginning. And it didn't help that it was also part of the supply drop era of COD. So that's another L right there. But it definitely didn't do itself any favors with the gameplay. Now coming in at number 9, we have Advanced Warfare. Now, my issue with Advanced Warfare is it has the 3 biggest L's we've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. Number 1, it was the start of jetpacks, right? It basically ruined COD for 3 years. Number 2, it was also the start of supply drops, which is possibly the worst thing to ever get added into Call of Duty. I remember in Advanced Warfare, I was like 12th or 13th prestige or something before I finally stopped playing that game, and I still didn't have the BAL Obsidian Steed that had like the extra damage on it or whatever. I never got that gun, even though I opened so many supply drops, like ranking up, never got the gun. Like, that was just a completely ridiculous system that they had in that game. And finally, L number 3, it was also the start of the most extreme skill-based matchmaking that we've ever had in COD that is still around to this day in Modern Warfare. AW skill-based matchmaking was worse than any other COD. I remember people were selling hacked accounts that had 0 kills and like 100,000 deaths just so that people could have fun on the game. You know, I actually had one of those accounts as a second account, and no exaggeration, I think I've said this before, but the lobbies you used to find on those hacked accounts were basically handicapped people. And I'm not trying to be rude, I truly believe these people were like either physically or mentally handicapped. Like, that's how ridiculous it was. But despite all of this, I would say that Advanced Warfare was still better than Infinite Warfare. Now coming in at number 8, we have Modern Warfare. Now, it's only been 2 months of the game, but currently the only real fun I can say that I've had on this game is on Shoot House and on Shipment. And Shipment doesn't even really count because that's a COD 4 map, alright? Modern Warfare can't take credit for that. But I think it's pretty much accepted that Modern Warfare has the worst maps of any COD, especially the worst base maps. You know, now I know they added Shoot House and Shipment and Crash and all that, but like the actual maps that came with the game, worse than any other COD. And also, of course, the fact that we don't have a normal mini-map or normal footsteps. But I guess the one positive that I can say about this game is that it does have pretty solid kill streaks, which is a surprise because nowadays we haven't really been getting games with good kill streaks anymore. Coming in at number 7, we have World War II. Now, the thing about this game is after Michael Condrey left, they did like a complete overhaul of the game. They added a bunch of stuff. They fixed all the problems, everything. They did a great job, and from that point onward the game was actually pretty solid. The problem is this overhaul didn't happen until like April. So by then, most people had already given up on the game, you know? You can't wait 6 months to fix your game. You have to fix it in the first like 1 to 2 months when people are still interested, you know? You can't expect people to keep waiting around. So had they actually made these changes in the beginning of the game when it was actually relevant, I think the game would be remembered a lot differently and probably a lot more positively. But unfortunately, we had to deal with Michael Condrey for about 6 months before the game actually got good. So that's what's keeping its rank a little bit on the lower side. Now coming in at number 6, Black Ops 4. Now there's 2 major L's with Black Ops 4 for me. Number 1, the specialists. Half of them weren't even that good. It seems like they were almost in the game just to piss me off. Like they weren't even that effective. They were just annoying. Specialists themselves as a concept are just stupid because they're basically free kill streaks, and the reason they're put into the game is to make like shit kids who can't actually earn a kill streak get a little participation specialist kill streak and feel good about themselves. Oh look, I just got this free kill streak, I got a kill, wow, I'm so good, you know what I mean? Like they don't need to be in the game. Now if they actually worked like a kill streak, they were just like a bonus in addition to kill streaks, but you still had to actually earn them, I think it'd be a pretty good idea. I would actually like them a lot. But the fact that you can go like 3 and 20 and get a participation medal specialist is just ridiculous to me. Now, the second issue I had with Black Ops 4 was the 150 health. That's just not how COD is supposed to be. It's not how any COD has been or may ever be again. Not really sure. Now, personally, the reason I don't like this is it just allowed people to play more brainless and not get punished for it, right? It allowed people to make mistakes that would normally cause you to lose the game or get you killed or whatever, but because of the extra health, they got away with stuff like that, so I just wasn't a fan. And finally, last but not least, all of the supply drop DLC weapon drama that they had in this game, this was like one of the greediest games. It was just a real scumbag move that they pulled with this game. But coming in at number 5, we have Black Ops 3, which in my opinion, this was the best jetpack Call of Duty. The main issues with this game were number 1, the specialist, which we've already discussed, and number 2, jetpacks, which we've already discussed as well. Now, one other thing I would like to add in was, once again, this game had a real supply drop issue. This is probably the greediest COD when it came to supply drops. They released so many supply drop weapons in this game, and I mean like really good weapons as well. Some of the supply drop weapons were the best guns in the game, and it honestly ruined my experience because at the end of the game, it got to the point where like almost every single lobby I would go into, every time I would die, it was to a gun that I didn't even have. That should never happen. But that being said, I did enjoy this the most of any jetpack game. You know, it did have solid maps, solid kill streaks, solid weapons, you know, at least until they ruined the weapons with all the supply drop stuff. But, you know, that's really the big 3 right there. If you have good maps, good kill streaks, and good weapons, you're going to have a good COD. That's pretty much all it comes down to. Now, coming in at number 4, we have Ghosts. Now, this is a little tricky for me. It might be a little controversial. I don't know. I think, for one, Ghosts suffered from pretty bad timing. It came out directly after Black Ops 2, which was like the peak of Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty has pretty much been downhill since Black Ops 2. But I think the one thing that saved Ghosts from being like completely terrible was that competitive was amazing, right? I think everyone's ranking of Ghosts probably depends on how much you actually played competitive, right? Public matches, I will agree, were not that great. I would say that Ghosts probably has the second worst maps after Modern Warfare. Like, there were some real bad maps on Ghost that were just like embarrassingly bad. I don't even know how they got put into the game, you know? So if you weren't into comp at all and all you did was, you know, play pubs, you'd probably move Ghost down a little bit. But Ghost does have 2 huge positives. Number 1, it doesn't have jetpacks, which is a big thing for me. And number 2, it doesn't have supply drops either. This was before the supply drop era started in COD, so that's another huge W that Ghost has going for it. But I can definitely see some different opinions on this one, you know, depending on what you played. Next, coming in at number 3, we have Modern Warfare 3. Now, I don't think the order matters that much for these next 3 games, right? The next 3 is obviously going to be MW3, BO1, and BO2. Those are the only 3 games left. Now, whatever order you want to put those 3 in, I don't really have an issue with it because those are the last 3 classic, real Call of Duty games that we've had without them doing all the stupid shit they do nowadays. And I don't really have much negative to say about MW3. Good maps, good kill streaks, good guns. The only negative I could say is Modern Warfare 3 had a little bit too much bullshit in the game, right? Every COD has bullshit, but MW3 just had a little too much. You know, if there was no support kill streaks and if there was no death streaks, MW3 might be looking at the #1 spot, you know? But unfortunately, there was just a little too much dumb shit they put in that game for me to give it #1. But coming in at #2, we have Black Ops 1. Now, at this point, if I have Black Ops 1 at #2, you know that I have Black Ops 2 at #1. So I'm going to just talk about both these games together and tell you kind of what separates them for me and why I put BO2 as #1. So they both have good kill streaks, good maps, good weapons. I think their kill streaks are about equal in terms of effectiveness. They have a lot of the same kill streaks. Black Ops 2 had a little bit more variety than Black Ops 1 did, but pretty comparable. I think I would give Black Ops 2 a slight edge in the maps, but I think it's really close. I think they both had amazing maps. And I think Black Ops 2 has a pretty clear advantage in the weapons, even though they both had very good weapons. BO2 just had more variety and more balance with the weapons. But I think the thing that really separates the two for me is just that Black Ops 2 introduced Hardpoint to the series, and in my opinion, there has been no greater show of skill in COD than competitive Hardpoint in Black Ops 2. I think that is the peak of competition in Call of Duty. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on it, man. I'm a big fan of Hardpoint, man. I think it's one of the best game modes they've ever added to Call of Duty. But like I said, BO1, BO2, MW3, those are the top 3. I don't think it's up for debate. Put them in whatever order you want. I'm okay with that, you know, whatever you like more. But that was the official Call of Duty athlete approved list. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day and peace out.
Never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right.